Is there something that you wish you would have done differently?
Ah, that's my one of my common questions in my podcast. You mean in my life or
Life.
yeah? Oh, regrets. I have a lot of regrets. I don't even know where to start. A lot of things different. Like I think advising students when they're doing research is a challenge that all professors deal with. And when we start out as junior faculty, assistant professors, we just have no clue of how to advise students, right? We go through grad school when we're doing our PhDs. We go through grad school, learning how to do research, learning how to code, and whatever else. This is true not just in engineering; it's true of like across. Even in South Campus, you talk to them, they'll be like, "I did research, and then the day I become a faculty member, boom, I have 5 students. What do I do with these 5 students? Like suddenly I jumped over the other side of the fence, and I have no skills. It's unfortunate. I mean, no university does a good job of teaching their grad students how to be good faculty members. There is no like sequence of courses that teaches you this. It just doesn't exist at all. It's very unfortunate. And actually, we faculty talk about it a lot, right? And I hear every year we have new faculty joining us, and every year I hear the same thing from the new faculty. It's like, I'm in the middle of the swimming pool. How do I do this? How do I do that? Right? So there's always like things you learn cause regrets. Things I wish I had done this way differently. It's never like I'm not I'm not an aggressive personality, so I don't interact negatively with people. But it's always there's subtle ways in which you can say the same message, right? So there's a lot. There is learning always leads to regrets, right? So there's that. I certainly feel that I wish I had picked up done more musically earlier in my life. I think it's only later in life that I started to appreciate how much I really enjoy music. Earlier, like when I was a kid, I grew up in India and in the 80s and 90s, and my dad, he used to play a couple of instruments. He used to play the sitar, which is a string instrument, and he also used to play the tabla, which is a percussion instrument. So my dad had a sitar, and I used to like doodle around with that. And he's like, "We'll get you a teacher." And so he got me a teacher who would come in like once a week. And fortunately, the school that I was going to also had actually music class and music teacher there. So I learned a little bit of sitar there. And then after that, when I was in undergrad, I kind of, I had my keyboard, like piano type keyboard. I would play that, but I really didn't pay attention much. I tried to pick up the flute, tried to pick up the mouth organ, but like life was so busy that I didn't have time to invest there. And then just 10, 15 years went by and I didn't pick up any new instruments. And only recently, like 2017 or so, is when I got a ukulele. And when I bought the ukulele, I had zero idea how to play it. The story of that is also very interesting, which I can tell you some other time. The story of how I got the ukulele is also very interesting. But I had no clue, but I enjoyed the process so much afterwards. I was like, man, I should have done more of this earlier. It would have just made my whole life so much more enjoyable, right? And it would have like led to more enjoyment for my students because they also enjoy this part as well.
Yeah, people say that you regret the thing that you didn't do more than the things that you did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's true.
very true.
Like, but how would you actually have done it? Because I mean, you wish you didn't, but if you did, you wouldn't have done as well in your classes. For I don't know, perhaps
In research.
so how you have like done that?
I think it's doable. In hindsight, I think it's doable. Look, so when I think about it, for myself, I started doing my radio show, which I mentioned at WEFT 90.1 FM. I started doing it in 2005 when I was 3 years an assistant professor, and I did not have tenure then. And sometimes people don't believe me when I say this. That I started a radio show when I had not yet gotten tenure. They're like, "You're crazy." And I'm like, "What did you do that?" But I actually did that. If I had time to do that, and I had time to actually participate in volunteer activities in that radio station, in the group there, I would have had time to do other things too. So I think the lack of time was probably not a good enough reason for me not to have done that. I would have probably had to be more smarter about my time. maybe I would not have been. Maybe I would have spread myself too thin and I would have given up on it. But I think the regret I have is not trying it. I don't think I ever picked up a new instrument between 2003 and 2017. I don't think I picked up any new ones. I continued playing the things that I had, like the keyboard, and I would go back to the flute occasionally, but I didn't pick up any new ones. So that's the regret. I think I could have done it.
What's a